This episode of Making a Chef is brought to you by Broadcast Media Group is a full-service production company with a team of storytellers who create commercials, promos, web-based videos, and more. For more information about Broadcast Media Group, go to www.getbmg.com or call 662-324-2489. Video Magic 1 transfers home videos, tapes, and photos into DVD, CD, or digital files. For more information, go to www.videomagic1.com or call 662-320-9344.
Food poverty and food deserts are two big problems here in Mississippi. One local charity that is bringing light to these issues is Mississippi Food Network's Moonlight Market. For the third year in a row, I've been asked to help co-host this dinner along with Chef Nick Wallace. I'm about to meet with him and discuss the menu tonight. Chef, nice to see you again.
Good to see you like always.
Moonlight Market's coming up. We have a couple days before that, and we gotta start planning the menu. So I'm gonna let you go first. What do you think about for the main course?
Represent probably chicken in some kind of way. Maybe smoking it with maybe some applewood. And maybe even pairing it with like sunflower seeds, maybe a fruit mostarda would be good. Some beets, some turnip roots, and some kale. Sounds like a plan?
Flavors of spring, I like that.
What about you? You want a dessert?
Yes, so Mississippi mud pie. You know, I really do love, the Mississippi River brings life to the Delta, and it's really what Mississippi agriculture is based around. I'm really thinking going heavy on the chocolate because, it's rainy season right now. The river's really muddy, and so we gotta go in heavy on the chocolate. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do yet, but I'm starting to formulate ideas, maybe like a brownie, cake crust, and then like a pudding on top.
Oh man, you're making me hungry.
Oh yeah, I think it's a scoop of ice cream on the side, we should be good to go.
Oh yeah, I got a sweet tooth, man, so I think I'm gonna dive right into that. And I think we need to probably elevate some catfish too.
Yes, catfish is a big part of Mississippi agriculture.
Maybe like a rice perlo, and maybe mounding some venison sausage in it.
Ooh, yeah.
Poblano peppers, tons of chilies in it.
Yeah.
And we'll just put some freshness, maybe some arugula over the top. I think we'll have an exciting menu.
Sounds delicious. I can't wait for this event. So Chef, can you talk to me a little bit about how you got involved with Mississippi Food Network in this awesome event?
I'm all about Mississippi. I'm all about local. I'm all about trying to support communities, and I'm all about trying to show people the right way of, especially healthy foods too. Not to sound like arrogant or nothing. I used to eat a lot of bad food that's coming up, but I think as a chef, I like to respect the ingredient a little bit more now. So I think it was like a match made in heaven. I think it's a great mission. It supports a lot of food access for Mississippi. I think I've been involved with Mississippi Food Network probably for the last 3 to 4 years, I believe. The amount of movement that they're getting from a lot of different national organizations like Kroger and all, it just seems like everybody is jumping on the bandwagon about local and about food access. So it's working.
Yeah, I've always looked forward to this event. Just, being able to cook with you, cooking from all these people, meeting all these awesome people, then going in the back, talking to all the vendors, the local farmers. So much fun, and it really brings a light into, Mississippi agriculture, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
So why is combating food poverty and teaching Mississippians about healthy eating and how to cook healthy really important to you?
I'm from Edwards, Mississippi, and the backside of Edwards, when you get into Utica and Raymond, like it's food deserts there. So it's super important for organizations like Mississippi Food Network to traffic food to a lot of these places because, the kids are really, really suffering, after school, on weekends, they have no food. And me being in the public schools, I get to hear it a lot. The obesity rate is huge here. I think, what we're doing at Moonlight Market too, with like the small portions, is a really, really cool thing. And like what you're gonna be able to do too on the mud pie, because I think it's a lot of overeating too. And I think a lot of that kind of been stemmed from how we was raised. And I think people just need to slow it down. And I talk about slow food all the time. I talk about farm to table all the time. And people are like, what is slow food? Like if you just put your hands on food and actually put things together, if you could just make things, You're not gonna hammer it down like a bucket of chicken. You're just not gonna do it. And anything we can do to get in front of a camera or just to talk to people or cook with people, I just believe even if we can touch 10 people, you know, today, we can do 10 more tomorrow and it might turn into 50. I think we're definitely doing a great job.
Chef, it was really great to connect with you before this event. I'm gonna go back to my kitchen, experiment a little bit, and see you in a couple of days.
Let's do it, man. Grab the apron. Good to see you, man.
Yes, sir, you too. Today, I'm back in the kitchen with Dr. Brent Fountain, a registered dietitian, and he's gonna show me how to make a quick, simple, and delicious spicy sweet potato dip. Dr. Brent, thanks for being back here again.
Mark, thanks for having me back again. So yeah, we're gonna do spicy sweet potato dip. This is a super simple recipe and it's really, really good.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what you think of it. We've got a couple sweet potatoes, about 2 pounds, pretty easy to come by here in Mississippi.
Yeah.
This is just a bowl of ice and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna peel these in a second. We've got 2 tablespoons of salsa.
Okay.
Pick your favorite salsa, along with 2 tablespoons of lime juice. So we've gone ahead and added them to this ramekin. And then we've got chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. Now, you'll buy these in a little small can, and it'll be a whole can of these peppers, and you can kind of see they're already dipped in the sauce. So we're gonna try one because it is kind of spicy. If you really like it, you can add a second one too there. And of course, we're gonna use 2 ounces of shredded pepper jack cheese. So what we're gonna start off with is we're gonna take these potatoes. Now we've already microwaved these and you really want them to be spongy because you're gonna blend them up, but you can see how they're kind of squishy. Set them in the ice water. And what that's gonna do is just make it easier to peel. So you can take one, I'll grab one, and we're just gonna start peeling off the sides.
Okay.
And you can just let this go in there.
One thing I do like about sweet potatoes, and just potatoes in general, is how easily and how long they keep.
Oh yeah. You take a knife or a fork and just kind of pull it. Get all of that good flesh out of there. Just kind of leave the peel. And of course, when you're doing sweet potatoes in the microwave or in the oven, you want to pierce them first because if you don't, they'll build up steam behind the peel and it will explode.
It will explode.
In your oven or in your microwave. So be sure to do that. And again, this dip is to be served hot. It's not a cold dip. So the hotter the better. And you know, it microwaves up really easy. A minute in the microwave and it'll be as good as new. Okay, we can just go ahead and add these pieces in to your food processor.
All right, 1 pepper.
Go ahead and add your salsa and your lime juice. This is gonna add a little bit more liquid to it. You're gonna have a lot of liquid in the potato already.
Yeah.
Go ahead and add the cheese, about 1/4 cup. And we're gonna use that also as a top on your dip.
Okay. Is that looking good? We do more?
It's looking good. You can tell me if you want another pepper or not.
It smells nice and smoky, which is one of the benefits of having the adobo pepper. I think one more pepper.
Okay.
Smells good. That's good. That's
good?
very
That's
good. All right, so let's put this in a bowl, clean up a little bit, and we can try some.
Sounds great. So Mark, here we go. We've got some pita chips here and we've got some more of the pepper jack cheese in case you want to grate it as a garnish on top of the dip.
Okay.
Use it or not?
I'm gonna do a little bit, just get a little color.
I'll let you try it first.
I can't wait. You know, just trying it on a spoon was good, now trying it on a chip is gonna be completely different. That's very good. You can get the spiciness a little bit from the adobo. You can get the smokiness because they are smoked a little bit. You know, it holds up very well on a chip. The chip doesn't fall. It's a little bit sweet, it's creamy. You get a little bit of lime juice, which I really liked. You know, reading up on this earlier, I didn't think I'd like it too much, but the way the flavors played turned out really well.
And it comes very creamy. You would not have expected it's just potato and a pepper.
Yeah.
And that's all that's in there. A little bit of salsa, a little bit of lime juice. And you can pick your chip, any type of chip or cracker that you would like to work on there because it's going to, like you said, a thinner chip's going to hold up just as well as this one.
Thank you, Dr. Brent, for showing me this really cool spin on dip. It was actually quite surprising how good it was, and I can't wait to come back next time.
Thanks. Glad you enjoyed it, Mark.
Thank you. Robert, thanks for coming here. You have a very interesting career. I've always admired it. You have done so much for Mississippi chefs and just Mississippi in general. But can we go back to the beginning of your cooking career? How'd you get started cooking?
My road to the restaurant biz is not the typical road. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I flunked out of college, which seemed like the absolute worst thing that could ever happen. Came back from Hattiesburg. There were two ladies opening a delicatessen. They knew nothing about the restaurant business, which is evident because they hired me as the manager of the delicatessen. It was one of those things, man, that I'm talking about really from the first minute, maybe. It just clicked with me, and I was like, oh, this is it. I nerded out on the restaurant business, got a degree in hospitality management, and in 1987, I was 26 years old, I opened the Purple Parrot. We hired a chef from Panhandle of Florida. He was a legend for two reasons. One, he was a great chef and everybody loved his food. But number two, he was like a real party animal kind of guy. Opening night, about 8 o'clock, I went to the back and learned my first business lesson in the restaurant business, which is lock the beer cooler. And so I fired our chef opening night. So night number 2, you know who was back there, and it was me. The extent of my cooking experience at that point in time was that I had asked for and received an easy bake oven. So I spent the next 4 years doing about 90 hours a week in the kitchen, and it turned out to be this thing that worked out well.
Yeah. Well, Chef, that is a very interesting story. So the reason I brought you in here is to talk about food poverty in Mississippi. So I just got done talking with Chef Nick Wallace the other day about Moonlight Market. It's a nonprofit dinner in Jackson that helps combat food poverty in Mississippi. But you also have a really cool nonprofit called Extra Table. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. I got a call one day in 2009 from a place called the Edward Street Fellowship Center. It's a mission pantry feeding about 800 families a month. They were completely and totally out of food.
Yeah.
They said, is there anything you can do to help? And I said, sure. Call my Cisco rep, Cisco being the food service distributor, put together an order and have them drop ship that order to the agency. And they were able to feed their clients for that week. And it got me to thinking, if you've got these places that are running out of food and the shelves are empty, then there's got to be a more cost-effective and efficient way to get people fed. Yeah. And that's where I came up with this idea. But to be honest with you, I was a little skeptical, really, that there was even a problem. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of just went on a tour of my own to these places, soup kitchens and mission pantries, and it didn't take long at all before I learned there's a huge problem in Mississippi. And so I went to Cisco and I said, what if every business, home, and restaurant in Mississippi had an extra table where they could feed those in need? And what would that look like? I said, this is what I need you guys to do. I said, I need you to sell me food at rock bottom wholesale. I need you to deliver it. And they said, we're in. And so how that works is we go into an agency. They're usually pretty skeptical when we walk in the door. We say, we want to get you food. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, well, how much are we going to have to pay? We say, we're not going to pay anything. We're going to raise money. We're going to buy food. We're going to ship it to you. And then they're in. Our first founding principle is that 100% of the money we raise for food will go to food. Yeah. Nothing for administrative costs. The second founding principle, the food is going to be healthy. Mississippi we're not number one now. We were when I started this thing. We were number one in food insecurity. Mm-hmm. We're also number one in obesity. And so I had a problem with that. But what I learned quickly is that people who don't have enough money to purchase healthy food or even food at all are basically living out of a convenience store. And they're drinking the cheapest, fruit drink that they can find in snack foods. And there are people living off of that. And so we deal in low-fat proteins, low-sugar fruits, healthy grains, low-sodium vegetables. Everything is shelf-stable. And those are our two founding principles. Mississippi has 670,000 citizens who suffer from what the government calls food insecurity. 250,000 of those are kids, your age and younger, who live on a school breakfast and a school lunch, and then they don't eat again until the next day. 250,000. 125,000 are seniors who right now are trying to figure out, can I pay the light bill or can I go to the grocery store? I mean, that's a real thing. It's not some third world country thing. That's right here in Mississippi. It's right down the street from where you live and where I live. And it's a real thing. So my eyes were opened and Extra Table started, and we started with that one agency 10 years ago. And today, we're in 39 agencies across the state of Mississippi. None of them pay a dime for it.
Have you seen a change in food insecurity and food poverty here in Mississippi since you started?
I'm not saying Extra Table is the reason, but we have gone up a notch or two, and that's how you start. I mean, we've gone from 50th to 49th, and that's how you make a move, and then you go from 49th to 48th.
Mm-hmm. So how can everyday people get involved with helping out Extra Table?
Certainly these places need help and man hours, but through Extra Table, extratable.org is the website. You can give monthly, you can give $5 a month, $10 a month, $25 a month, whatever it is. It's gonna make a difference, I promise you. If you wanna host an event in your community, we'll come up there and do that, and we'll help feed people. If anybody's school wants to have a fundraiser, we can help them with that. And extratable.org is where you need to go.
Okay. Well, Robert, thanks for coming. That was very interesting. I had a whole lot of fun learning about you and your nonprofit, and hopefully we can get you back here one day and cook a little bit.
I would love to come back here. I would love to cook with you, and let's get you down to Hattiesburg and you cook with us too.
Yes, sir. Thank you. In order to prepare for Moonlight Market, I have to make a Mississippi mud pie. To help me with that, today I brought in my friend Jay Reed. Jay Reed is a food writer, a podcaster, and is an all-around foodie. Mr. Jay, thanks for coming in today.
I'm very glad to be back when there's fudge pie involved.
I'm glad to hear that. So you have a little bit of experience with chocolate pies, fudge pies you're telling me about?
Yeah, back when I was in college, there was a cafe called the Hoka, and one of the signature dishes there was a hot fudge pie. And it's just remained with me. It's a very strong memory etched in my brain.
Well, hopefully that memory can help us today. So, can you put in this stick of butter in the pan along with these about 8 ounces or so, maybe 6 ounces of chocolate. We don't measure a whole lot here. While you're doing that and that's melting down, I'm gonna put in 3 eggs. Try my best not to get shells in there. Just put that on about medium-low heat. We don't want it to burn. So to that, I'm gonna add a cup of sugar total. About half a cup of brown sugar and half a cup of white sugar. I think it helps out with the fudginess. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Layers of flavor.
Yeah, layers of flavor. We'll just go with that answer. So I'm gonna whisk this together, try to incorporate a little bit of air until it becomes lighter in color.
Okay.
My inspiration is, it's about March. We're gonna start seeing a little bit of rain, a little bit's coming, so I think we're gonna have a muddy Mississippi River this year.
So April showers bring
May
mud
flowers.
pies.
Yeah, yeah. About a tablespoon or so of vanilla. I like a lot of vanilla in my fudge pie. I'm also gonna add about a tablespoon or so of salt. Salty chocolate is just a weird combo that actually works out really well.
I'm guessing it has to do with the balance of flavor. 'Cause
Probably so.
There's always a pinch of salt in almost every sweet thing.
Exactly. So to this egg and sugar mixture, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of boiling water, or it was boiling at least, and 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. Now, I'm adding boiling water to this to help bloom the cocoa powder. Blooming the cocoa powder essentially wakes up the cocoa powder, wakes up the chocolatiness.
I think this is pretty close to melted whenever you're ready.
I'm ready when you are.
We just pour it in.
Correct. I'm gonna whisk a little bit, try not to curdle these eggs because this is hot and we have slightly cold eggs in here. We don't want scrambled eggs, that would be
not
bad.
in our french pie. All right, just a little bit more, but I think that's
That
all
should
we're gonna
be
get
good.
out right now.
Starting to smell really fudgy and chocolatey. I'm gonna grab a taste real quick, close y'all's eyes. That's good. You want some?
Sure, why not? As long as you're risking, I'll go
Our
with it.
hands are clean-ish.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So this is about a 1/4 cup to 1/3 cup of flour. I left a little bit in the bowl because I'm not quite sure how much it's gonna need. But I don't wanna overdo it.
Because it's not just a brownie, but more of a brownie crust. Is that what
Correct.
you want?
It's a
Brownies
fine line.
can be so many different textures, from gooey, fudgy to dry,
Exactly.
and they're all good.
This is a little wet, so I'm gonna add this last tablespoon or so. So that was about a 1/4 cup of flour. Ooh. All right, that looks good. Now we're gonna clean up and we're gonna put it in our pan.
All right.
Now it's time to put it in its resting place. So yeah, will you hit that with a little bit of canola spray?
Certainly will.
Yeah, just a little bit more because we don't want a thick crust on here. All right,
All right, ready?
it's good. Now this is ours. We can eat this later off camera. So before that, we're gonna put this in a 350-degree oven on convection, which is just extra air moving around. Helps it cook a little more even for 20 to 25 minutes or so until a toothpick inserts comes out clean.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put this in. To top this brownie crust, we're gonna put in like a cream cheese pudding, maybe whipped cream mixture on top. It's just gonna be like a spread. So this starts off with half a stick of cream cheese. And I'm gonna go ahead and start off about half a container of fudge or just chocolate pudding. Now this is
instant
pudding, yes.
Okay.
And it's about half. We can add more as needed.
Okay.
And about a tablespoon or so of milk, just to kind of help form together, started mixing.
Okay, let's stand back.
Started on low to not spread it everywhere, then we slowly and gradually increase the speed.
Did you let your cream cheese sit out? Is it room temp?
Yes, so
Okay.
the cream cheese is at room temp in order just to mix in easier. Now just mix it in on high, start getting some smoothness going. This is about 6 ounces or so, or a little over a half of a container of whipped topping.
Okay.
This is, of course, not frozen either, because that'd just be a whole lot harder to mix in.
It's gonna lighten up the texture a little
Lighten it
bit.
up, exactly. All right. We'll grab spoons for this.
So this is actually not going on the brownie, we're just eating this, right?
Oh, yes. We'll make some more off camera. Okay. It's good.
Nice.
I feel like it needs more pudding. Would you
Yep.
agree? If you want more upfront chocolatey, we might need to add a little bit of cocoa powder. We can just try this. Try it again.
Sideways.
It's getting there. I'm gonna leave it up to you. I would add more pudding and maybe a touch of cocoa powder, but
I
you
think
the
so,
guess.
because you're still not to the level of chocolatey richness that the brownie is
Exactly.
already gonna be, so.
So we used a whole pudding, package of pudding. You can add half a package. You can add package and a half if you're really crazy. I'm gonna add about another tablespoon or so of milk and be able to spreadable,
Right.
make it spreadable. Start it on low, not to throw everything around.
That's good.
It's awfully sweet though.
It is.
I'm gonna add about
I agree.
a tablespoon or starting off with. We want it really muddy. And then I'm gonna add about 2 teaspoons or so of milk because it's starting to clump up a little bit, make it a little thinner. This is kind of just an experimentation recipe, you know? It's not calculated, it's not scientific. That's a lot better.
I think you did it.
I think we did. So, our brownies are about to come out of the oven. We have our whipped mixture. We'll let the brownies cool once they come out, and we can assemble, and we'll have Mississippi mud pie. Our brownie is cooked. It's risen some, but it will fall here in a few minutes. We're gonna let it cool for about 30 minutes or so. You can put it in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes. We just wanna have it cool enough where it won't melt our topping whenever
That'd be
we
a
put
hot
it in.
mess.
Yeah, it would.
In every sense of the word.
Yeah. So, Mr. J, this is cooled for about 30 minutes. We poked holes to it, so more of the topping to just seep down those holes and
Right.
get it infusing, kind of like a poke cake. Now it's time to add it on top, so delicious on delicious. See how it turns out.
Well, we've tried both sides individually, so I feel like it's gonna turn out
I hope so.
pretty good.
This event is in a couple days, and if it's not good, ooh, we're in trouble. Chef Nick might, I don't know, exile me from doing Moonlight Market ever again.
Well, if it's not, you can try again, and I'll take this home.
I'm glad to hear that. Glad you're volunteering.
Always ready
Taking
to
one for
help.
the team.
That's right.
So this is definitely a lot of brownie. I think next time I might spread out the brownie a little more or make a little less. You don't want to overwhelm the customer. My mom's probably just gonna be scoffing at me when she sees the sides. So I'll clean it up here in a second, but I think we're about done. Scoop off the sides. The spatula.
That's one way to get the corners done.
Oh, this is what my grandma always did, so that's just how I do it.
Hey, if it works for Grandma,
Yeah.
good enough for me.
I think she's watching. Hey, Grandma. Let me clean up the sides. We're gonna put this in the fridge for another 30 minutes or so to set up the pudding. Then we should be ready to eat.
All right, I'm ready now.
All right, Mr. J, this has been the fridge for about 30 minutes again. The pudding's set up a little bit. Now it's time to cut. So we're gonna be serving a lot of people at Moonlight Market. So we're gonna do small-ish portions. So I'll cut myself off a piece. Gotta get all the pudding on there.
And I get the rest.
Yes, you'll get the rest. Now it's time to see if our hard work paid off. So definitely chocolatey, visually. That's good. It's not too sweet.
No? It's rich.
You know, this will go great with like ice cream or a big old glass of milk.
I like the different textures, the different kinds of chocolate layered on top of each other.
I think the people at Moonlight Market would like this a whole lot.
I agree.
Only one way to find out.
Wish I could come.
Make sure you
right here and a little right there. This is definitely where you shine. It's the night of the event. I have my Mississippi mud pie. I can't wait to start serving folks.
Have I lost weight, or am I uglier or what? I think you're gonna love it though. It could be fruity chicken though. I like that. It's dwindling down.
Yes, man. We didn't have time. The only difference is this one has pecans, this one does not. Thank you. We just finished up serving tonight. I had so much fun, and it was so great. It helped to support a cause that fights food poverty here in Mississippi. Big thanks to Chef Nick Wallace for letting me co-host this event with him, and a huge thanks to Mississippi Food Network for putting on this amazing event.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and check us out on Facebook and Instagram.